Look how much runway a plane needs to get off the ground. And it's like, where's the fuel, man? I was fucking on E, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I wrote something down for you because it's something I want to say at the end of your podcast every single time because it's true. It's just like, take care of yourself first because nobody can give their best when they're running on empty. I was on E. There's no gas to get down the runway and get that lift off. And so it scared the fuck out of me. Powerless. I'm dying here.
Life on EEJ. Life on EEJ. Yeah.
This is betting on the cherry on top, which is like, it converts into a PSA
10.
Then we're up 30 grand.
Bands.
Right. Then we're up, about, 20, 12, 22. We're up about 20,000 if that happens. If it converts to a PSA 9, we got equity. We're up 2-3K.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm going for. He gets excited about that. He uses it as a selling point when he sells me. Me, my bet is I'm betting on the sports card industry and the layout of it not changing over the next year or two.
Sure.
1 or 2 years, not a long time.
A card like that, that attracts followers too. Like something like that leads to followers.
That's a good point. I hope so.
It's a big card. You know what I mean? Like it's not your regular $1,500 card.
Yeah. I like stuff I can go to sleep on.
Sure.
Like I believe in silver because the need for silver is not going to change. And if I'm not worried about what happens in the next month or two because I have the money to spend when I buy into either physical silver or a silver mining company, then I can just go to sleep on my position. In this card game, I'm learning all parts of it, and so I'm looking at these like short-term trades also, but it's a little bit of a headache and annoying. You worry injury-prone players, like silver can't tear its ACL.
You're kind of like, and like compared to like what we do in coins, like you're working on like a lot smaller margins too, the way that you've been doing it.
It kills me.
Yeah. But that's a bigger one.
Yeah, that'll be good because, for instance, spend $12,000. We turn around, we sell the card for $25,000. Let's say it's 3 years from now. So in $13,000 in profit, and I'll pay out 40%. So I pay out $5,200. So I'm left with $20K on my 12. So I made $8,000 on my 12. So what is that? 66, 67% over 3 years. 12, 20, 30, 40. Make 12% a year. To be quite honest with you, like I have a dividend-paying stock that can do a little better. That's the thing that's hard with cards for me. I want to figure out a better way to do this where I don't have to go through all this headache and make the same amount of money I make just holding a dividend-paying stock. So I have to find that niche. So what am I doing? So how am I accomplishing that? I'm buying cars that I can go to sleep on. That's number one. Why put myself through the rigor of the day-to-day emotional changes and what's happening with the player to protect my investment? I've had a stock portfolio before of 30 names, and it drives me mad. I need to just buy a couple things that I can go to sleep on. So that's why you see me moving over into these GOATs. Let them run. And then second, I want to build the income machine, the business of it, the whatnot, the hobby box breaks, and make my money off sports cards that way. And then with the money I make off sports cards, invest that into the GOATs. The capital I'm going to invest in the sports card business should be on whatnot, on buying hobby boxes and running breaks, building our following through running those breaks, making income through running those breaks. Then when I make profit, buy the GOATs and go to sleep on them. That's the direction I'm headed.
It's all a patient game, though. You know what I mean? And like you're talking about like putting yourself through the rigor for smaller margins. Like if you think about it like that, you'll kind of spin yourself out. But if you think about it like, look at the rigor you put yourself through for the last 3 years for nothing but hell. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like at least you're putting yourself through the rigor for something that is getting you somewhere. You know what I mean? Because for a while you weren't. Me either.
I play this psychotic game of I can make 2% more of my money over here for less stress. Mm-hmm. So micromanaging, so heavy on that. Meanwhile, I go and do the using thing for 3 years, abandon everything. And I'm not looking for the extra alpha, they call it, the extra 2% for less work. Because that's what we do in this world. I kind of get 1 inch ahead in business. I'm not doing anything. And here's the thing for me, bro. And tell me if you can like relate to this. When I am to live in this world, I talk to the universe. I'm worth $25 million. You know, I have all the abundance I need. Money comes to me easily and effortlessly. And I think in terms of the guy who has that. So I can become the person who can handle that. What does a guy who has $25 million in net worth life look like? Hell of a real estate business, a lot of responsibilities, lots of contacts, knows how to deal with people, knows how to look at challenges as something to overcome to get better. So it's constant just checking my mentality and perspective. And that's the norm. And then I go and when I use, and I throw that wrench in my own shit, and that I let self-doubt creep in or talk to myself like shit. What happens is, and I look at it like the eagle analogy, the higher the eagle goes, other birds, the vultures, can't ascend to that level, that height. And so the higher the eagle goes, it's like, get up off me, because I just keep going higher. When I put that monkey on my back, I just keep going lower, and that's where the vultures come out and feed on me. So not only am I burying myself by putting the monkey on my back, but then the vultures come out. People start to treat you like shit. And like, I live that. We bury ourselves into the ground. Like, I saw this picture of this ant yesterday, and someone was drawing lines around it. And we do these things to ourselves in our mind. We create these boundaries and barriers. The ant now couldn't go past this black line, and now this one. And then someone came in and drew another line here, and now he's stuck here. And we do this to ourselves by just putting these walls up in our own world. And that's how it feels. And when I can think objectively, which I can't do when I'm high in the moment, if I'm not objective thinking just in general, it's really bad. And when I can, I realize that and see how bad it is. But when you're face to face with it, you're just stuck. I'm literally stuck. In my own house, I'd be using and be stuck. I mean, literally. And I feel like that's exactly what I did to myself. Because of the standards I set for myself that I'm not keeping up with. Because I'm doing something bad and my body's responding to it. And then there's the scare of, I wake up every day to keep myself in alignment with the universe, to change every thought, EJ. To frame it properly in a growth-oriented way to become something new and better. And when I'm using, when I get scared because the universe responds to your thoughts. And I'm stuck and I'm burying myself, and eventually the lights are going to go out. And that's like a little bit of an idea of like where the fear comes from for me about what that thing is. Am I grateful for it? I don't know, but I'm fucking scared of it. And like, I don't know if I would say I'm happy I went through it, but I am here making positives out of what I went through. And what I am from all that pain is fucking scared to go back to it. Because it's going to either put my lights out or take me out of alignment with where I'm supposed to be. And I fight for alignment. I fight for an inch. I fight for alpha every day. And so it's the complete opposite of how I'm supposed to live. And that's just a little bit of my perspective. I don't know if you felt like that before.
Do you think any of the fear on the other end of it comes from, like, you know how much work it's going to take to get to where you want to get to?
Like one of your posts this morning.
Yeah.
And you what you did was flip the perspective and say you're grateful for that. Yeah. And can I do it?
Like, do you ever
all this
think
money I have to spend in all these areas, and you're overwhelmed, you're spread so thin, and all these things that the typical stuff people are going to say. It's like someone shitting on your dream. You can't get 1 million followers. And like some days you'll take that in and it'll fuck you up. Some days you're like, get the fuck out of here. You're spread too thin. No, this is the perfect challenge for me. It's God's perfect challenge for me. And when I crack this thing open, it's going to be the beautiful reward. The one that's equal and equivalent to who I am and who I want to be in my energy. But yeah, it's scary, and I have to keep convicted every day. Money behind every one of these lanes. You ain't going to tell me different. Like that kind of, that's why I say like, you got to be crazy a little bit. You're not going to tell me different, brother. And that's how I have to live. But sometimes, man, the doubt will creep in. Feeds on itself. You let something somebody says to you hit you just a little harder than you should have. Then you're not treating yourself right. You're on a lack of sleep. Now you're a little bit more exposed to the masses. you're not flying high. So I like to spend time on my own because I like to keep myself up here and above. That's why you catch me up 5 hours before the workday starts.
Yeah, me too.
You know, and so on and so on.
So you said something. You were like, why put myself through all this when I could just take my money and do 2% better in a dividend?
Go buy
stock?
STRC sitting
Right.
in, yeah.
So, here's my thing. What is the room for growth in a dividend stock? You know what I mean? Like, how much of a reward really comes from putting it back in a
Wow,
dividend
bro.
stock?
Okay.
You know what I'm
right, so
saying?
you're talking about one of the upsides.
So it's like,
Is-
look, less work, but usually like what I've realized in life is like less work comes with less reward, right? Like that eagle can stay, because it's probably a little bit more work for an eagle to ascend where no other birds can touch him or bother him. It's probably a little bit more work, but that's a better reward to just not be bothered because he's all the way up here and those other birds can't get up there, right? He could just stay right here where he's touchable by these other birds and do less work and probably be okay because he's a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger.
Wow.
Or he could just put in a little bit more work and not have to worry about it.
Why do it?
You know what I mean? For me, why do it? So I think that for a lot of my life, like I was more of the looking for the less work kind of thing, like less work and biggest reward that I can get. And like what I've realized is like that fizzles out. It doesn't last long. Like even if you catch some kind of luck, like getting big rewards from doing less work, it doesn't last long. It fizzles out because there's no substance to it. There's no foundation to it.
Guys who are super wealthy that are like, I'm going to retire. Like they think they always wanted to.
Yeah.
They try the idea on for size and they can't retire.
do it.
It's how they're wired. This is what they do now. If you can coast and make 150,000, 200,000 a year, no matter what, and you don't have to go through, let's say, like what I go through, you know, I can make probably 300-400K a year every single year comfortably and not play the game and sport and hobby of business, which drives me nuts, but I want to be great. I want to know that I can do more. I can strive, grow, go higher. So for me, I was never thinking about 150K. So I don't know what your number is, but sometimes I'll think to myself like, Jonathan, you don't have to do all this. This is the weird voice I hear in my head all the time, so I speak like that. I'm not satisfied. I have to go higher, bigger, more. I got to challenge myself more. And it's the perfect growth for me because my biggest fear is spending money. The only way I can accomplish my goals is to spend money. I have this money anxiety since I was a kid.
Did you always have that mindset?
Which one?
Like the mindset of like growth? Like I just want to do more. I just want to do more.
Like I need to get myself away from this noise. This is bullshit. If I spend this time on my own, like first I thought they were cool. Let me study them. And then I'm like, you're not cool. What I do is cool. I don't even know if it is. This is what I'm supposed to do. And then I found enough, of who I am to come over here and do my thing, my way, follow my own path. That's one of the tats, right? And then I'm like, I can go for more, grow for more. Other people involve themselves in such shallow, low vibration bullshit, whether it's gossip or just nonsense, like what's hot and cool. You know those things about like, if at your table they're not talking about, the table conversations that I've run into for years because of where I put myself are fucking ass, dog shit. And I'm like, this is literally eating me up inside. Like I'm burning inside being a part of this. And so I'm like, all right, so like go be a better way. And so I did. I started to do that. So yeah, growth, man. I want the highest level of relationship with my partner, friendships that can also do business together, that can be cultivated. It's not all about business and money, but just that are fucking fulfilling and rewarding and that on a high frequency.
Was that mindset still there when you were using drugs?
Dude. All right. Look. Yeah, but but the noise is screaming.
Yeah.
It's pouring out of me. I'm like, please stop.
Yeah.
And then whoever the voice in my head is like, then stop, Jonathan. Stop creating the noise. But it was there. But I heard a quote from O.T. to Real that I love. It was just one of his tracks, and he's like, I write my goals on a padded wall. And he's just rapping, right? But like, I'm literally the guy that's like in jail, and what I decided to do when I was away was manage my portfolio, make picks. I woke up every day because I have to be focused on something, making my stock picks. I have my girl making my trades for me and stuff like that, and I'm in. It's got me focused on something, and that got me through. But I'm still in jail thinking, having the balls to say, it's not balls. It's that I know who I am. This is who I am. And I didn't feel corny. But anyone that would be around, like, what the fuck's this guy doing? But really what's going on is they're like, what's this guy doing?
Yeah.
It's not, what the fuck is this guy doing? That's how it'll come out of them, because they're insecure. And it's like, what's this guy doing? But I don't even realize. All I know is I'm up for fucking chow at 4:30 in the morning, and after that, I'm sitting at the table while everyone goes back to sleep. I'm up at 4:30 in the morning, I'm brushing my teeth, I'm washing my face, I'm showing up to chow as well kept as I can be, as if I'm showing up for breakfast with family. Mm-hmm. And then I'm back at the table, drinking my coffee in silence, doing my stock thing, listening to Bloomberg, and then I do my workout. And so it was still there. And what was funny is even in jail, it started to come out, me started to come up, bro. When did you start to fucking come back?
So, hold on. So, there's this TED Talk that you should watch. It's by this guy, Jeff Hoffman. He is an Olympic bicyclist, and he had a drug problem. And when he was young, he was like on this path of going to the Olympics as a bicyclist, and he got caught up in drugs, like turned homeless, living in a car, shooting heroin. And
This got chills. I think I've heard this, but I don't remember.
so he ended up getting locked up, and he went to jail. And in the beginning, he made this agreement with himself that he was going back to the Olympics, right? Now, this guy's in jail. You know what I'm saying? Like, who the fuck goes from jail to the Olympics, right? And what he said was, I treated 3 things. Like, I started with 3 things in jail. And I treated these things as if it was me going to the Olympics. It was make my bed, brush my teeth, organize my things. Yeah. And he did it every day. Make my bed, brush my teeth, organize my things. And it got to a point where he starts training in jail, like exercising, getting his body right to try to get back to the Olympics. And word got out that that's what he was doing. Like, he was trying to get back to the Olympics. And he got called into, like, the warden's office, and there was a bunch of CEOs in there. And they were like, yo, what are you doing? Like, you're training for the Olympics. Like, you're just going to be a fucking criminal the rest of your life. Like, you're just going to end up back here. You know what I mean? And that's a point where you could go one of 2 ways with that. You could let what the words of those people say bury you, or you could say, no, that's not what I'm going to be. Like, I'm telling you, I'm going to make it back to the Olympics, right? And he gets out of jail, and his body is right. Like, he's training, and he's about to get back to the Olympics, and he gets hurt again. And his dream could have ended right there. But his dream was to get back to the Olympics as a bicyclist. His body wasn't able to do that anymore because of his injuries, so he made it back, and he started training other bicyclists, and he made it to the Olympics as a bicyclist coach.
Yeah.
You know? And it all started in jail when he was at the bottom of bottoms, right?
And had he not stayed that course, they're like, look, you're not going to be a bicyclist. And sure enough, he didn't end up. But he's like, no. I'm not even listening to that shit. Mm-hmm. And then he ended up in the Olympics. Had he not done the work when he was away and pushed that bullshit aside, he wouldn't have got to where he wouldn't have landed. It's another thing. It's like, I don't know where the universe is going to land me, but make sure keep my character strong so I'm prepared for it. Don't have me arrive at these places cold, you know.
So I think for me, where it started was when I was in treatment this time. Like, it started at Malvern. And I was doing things a little bit differently than I usually do, and then what other people in there do, where I would share at every meeting. And because I have, like, this experience, and because I have this passion for it, and I talk in such a raw emotion because of what I've been through, people notice that. And, like, it very quickly turned into, you're the president of the community and all that shit. But, like, I don't really care about that.
That's the noise. It's the static.
I don't care about that. So what happened is,
those responsibilities take away from your ability to focus a lot of times.
what I did while I was in there was I shared at every meeting. And there was probably people like, this guy never shuts the fuck up. You know what I mean? And, like, in group, I'm talking all of group because I'm trying to get as much out of it as I can. And it's probably people that are saying, you know, you hear the whispers, this guy never shuts the fuck up. And what I did when I was in there is I didn't bid with, like, the guys that were trying to, like, bag some of the girls or that were trying to sneak drugs in or anything like that. Like, what I did was I stayed with the staff members, right? And the noise was, this dude's like a fucking rat. Like, he just hangs around the fucking staff the whole time. But in all reality, what it was is I seen the staff members that they had more experience than I had.
Yeah.
That they were able to stay sober for a long period of time, and they had knowledge that I needed, and I needed to get that from them because I have a mission that I'm on, and I have a place that I'm trying to get to, and I'm not going to get there by bidding with the dudes that are trying to get these rehab girls.
I'm not looking at you. I'm looking past you. That's the typical judgment to make is like, this guy's this and that. But those counselors who are a little bit more evolved and more mature, they're probably looking at the guys in treatment and in this particular way saying, like, look at these goofies. Just meaning focused on all the wrong things. He's a rat. He's all that street shit. All that street shit. You know? Meanwhile, what they're probably saying about you is this guy's going to get somewhere, man. And it's hard to stand for that. You're taking a different lane, so people are going to judge you. Can you handle that storm? You know? Can you handle those judgments? Is it going to fucking shift your opinion of yourself? What about when you got to start throwing money behind your own opinions and really believing? Now you're crazy until you're not. And like, I'm pretty solid on the ground where it's like, I know other people are going to think that like what I'm doing is this, that. I don't like too many other people's opinions. I trust my inner circle to give me some poke holes in my stuff so that I can sit there and weigh it. But yeah, I guess I'm crazy. Because I come up with new business ideas, I run with them. 6 months, 12 months, more money. I literally color the world around me. And when I'm fucking using or not living congruent with the universe and who I'm supposed to be, I can't. The only good thing I got out of the drug use is I'm sure I can pick a handful, but one of them is like when you chop sideways as a stock for a while, like that consolidation phase and let the wheels turn. A lot of us can't sit down long enough to let it happen. But when we go away, we have to. It builds your base for the next fucking leg up. That's why like silver chopped sideways for years. Then it went to 100 and something. And like, it's just literally how I look at the technical charts of stocks and things, and I look at like the chart of like a human being and how it is too. Sit you down for a little while. Let you consolidate from this big run up you just had of making $1 million in a couple years and the complete just debauchery and nonsense, right? And look, consolidating sideways, a lot of time to think and reflect, and we're stretching that rubber, and you're going to shoot out of the gate and go far, but with the right tools to maintain it. But yeah, these guys in treatment, it was like that. It was like corny to me. And I was strong enough, which I love to hear this from you, that I didn't give a fuck about their judgment. I am now kind of thinking to myself, because I don't say this stuff out loud, I was like, those guys are the fools.
Yeah.
I know what they're talking about is nonsense.
Yep.
That guy that just interrupted that other guy with his crap probably just interrupted that guy having a really good moment of reflection. Now that guy's going to engage with the first one, and they both just turned off that mechanism that's helping them visualize where they want to go, and their brain's starting to put the plan together. That's why I'll walk around, you'll think I'm fucking in the stars, man. Just like looking around, because when this thing is going, I want to let it go. I'm not too interested in the day-to-day mindless chatter and bullshit.
I think I'm realizing that was the first time in my life where I stopped caring what other people thought about me. I think that like this last run beat me up so bad that I was so defeated that like I didn't care what it took to get me out of that, and I didn't care what other people thought about what I was doing to get me out of that. You know what I mean? Like, I heard this guy say in a meeting the other day that his entire life, what other people thought about him was his higher power. That's what drove him. That's what motivated him to do everything that he did. And I could like really, really relate to that. Like, he even used the example of like if he was walking down the street and there was somebody walking on the other side of the street, like he was so consumed with what that person thought about his walk and how he was dressed and what he was doing, where he was going, that he was so consumed with that it would change the way that he walked, wanting to walk the way that they would approve of. Yeah. And I can relate to that. Everything that I've ever done has always been for external approval. Like, I always wanted to be the guy that was cool. I always wanted to be the guy that was accepted and approved by other people. And I think that this run beat me up so fucking bad, bro. Like, it ran down on me so bad that it got to the point where, like, I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks about me, bro.
I think that's where I was at when I got out here the first time, when I met you for the first time. You were probably like, this guy's unique and interesting.
Sure.
And you are cool. You're not cool when you're involved in all the noise, bro. Mm-hmm. It's like, Jesus, dude, this guy.
And I could do it Like I can get involved in it sober and I can get involved in it drunk. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't really matter. Like when I'm in that headspace, whether I'm sober or drunk, like I get wrapped up in it, bro.
Yeah. You know when they say the guy that stands for nothing will fall
For anything.
You know what is cool? When a guy can stay poised and say, "Nah, it's not for me, man." Whatever it might be, that's not for me.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit, this guy stands for something. I kind of like that.
I do that now.
It's hard to do because you're
Yeah.
missing out on some excitement, and we're addicts. So you're like, that looks like a good bit of fun.
I miss out on a lot of that shit now.
Let's
You know what I
abandon
mean?
disciplines and abandon everything. I'm sure you do.
Where it's like, yo, dude, like, you know, you're fucking young and single and like, you know, you could be out here slaying shit. Like, what are you doing? And it's like, yeah, but where does that really get me? You know what I mean? Like, what does that actually do for me? It doesn't really do anything for
You'll
me.
land where I did. Your
Yeah.
stories, not mine, are similar, and then they have their differences. But where does that land you? Like, yo, Jonathan, you really are something. You're this, you're that. This is what I started to tell myself. My opinion is that you're supposed to know what you're strong at and where you would do well. But I fed into it, and I don't know, it was this zigzag, and then boom, in the trenches. That's where it landed me.
So you just said something that I kind of wanted to talk about. I've been thinking about this for a week now. You said our stories are very similar, but there's differences. One of the biggest differences is this. So mentally, we ended up in the same place, but physically, we ended up in two completely different places when we were using drugs, right? Where for me, it ended up in the absolute most physical of bottoms, right? Where I'm fucking homeless, eating out of trash cans, and fucking living in tents. Like you didn't end up there, right? You didn't lose your house. You know, you didn't run out of money to stop being able to go, because that's one of those things that drives a lot of people to stop, is they run out of money and they get tired of having to do the things that they have to do in order to get the next one. Like you didn't struggle having to get the next one. And like for some people that are in that position, like it'll make them almost think that like they have it under control. They don't have a problem, right? So because it didn't end in those physical like bottoms for you, like what the fuck motivated you to want to stop? What motivated you to know that you had a problem?
That's a good question, man. It ended in mental anguish because I have a compass. My mom gave me this gift for one of my birthdays recently during the time I was using. An hourglass and a compass. Time, wasting time. And then this compass that I'm not in alignment with who and what I'm supposed to be. Mental anguish. Plus, now I'm looking in the mirror, I don't like the way I look. I can barely handle my fucking business. I've completely restructured my brain and my impulse fucking responses and needing for something right now when I'm wired, normal me, the complete opposite, and I was watching myself get further and further away from the person I know I am, and I was getting fucking scared. And then I was buried and I couldn't make the change.
Did you ever get to the point?
So I was spiritually bankrupt, I think they'll say.
Yeah.
Dude, mentally
Spiritual
bankrupt. Jostled so bad, bro. Took me a couple years just to get back to being me. That's why I'm so fucking scared. So maybe there's a good something inside of that guy, because he doesn't need to run out of money to stop. But I was dying. I'm the guy who wanted to stop so bad. With so much going for me, I couldn't. I fucking couldn't. You know, until something happened. Deathly afraid of getting arrested. And I did. My beautiful car, I can't even take care of it the right way. And the rims are getting chopped up. Flats, getting towed. The inside, dirty as shit. Keep up with getting my car washed every week. Are you fucking kidding me? Can't make a haircut appointment. It's down the block. I can't make it to the appointment. Are you fucking kidding me? Misery. This is not who you are. And the voice is screaming at me, telling me that. Because I'm always the guy that says, lay it on thick, because I don't learn my lesson. I'm a thickhead. So again, when my vibration frequency is low, the vultures come out to play. So while I'm going through this, recognizing it myself, which is bad enough. I mean, I'm literally crippled. And the vultures come out and are feeding off me. The vultures to me are the voices in my head that are screaming at me. Screaming at me. And that's like very real for me, bro.
You are widely successful in a lot of areas and aspects in life. You know what I mean? Like somebody from the outside looking in would be like, yo, this guy has everything. You know what I mean? And you worked for it. It's not like it was given to you. You worked for all of that.
Yeah, what an ungrateful piece of fucking shit, right?
I mean, but all right, so if you work so hard and you've become so successful, like, don't you deserve that? You know, don't you deserve to do whatever the fuck you want to do? Haven't you earned that? You know what I mean?
I did.
Like, what do you say to the guy that is so successful, that has worked for fucking everything that he has, wasn't given a goddamn thing, and blew up, and is in the middle of that, and can't stop because he thinks he doesn't have a problem? Like, what do you say to that guy?
Why did you choose that, bro? Such good thinking got you to where you are. Why did you think that's what you wanted? You could have went anywhere. It's so sad. You could have had a healthier thinking process. And if you needed a break, you can go anywhere in the world for a month. I went away for 3 years on this using. I could have went anywhere. Why did you pick that, man? Why did you think that's what you wanted? How does that serve you? And if there is a way that it can serve you, like maybe when you come out on the other end, you can glean so much from it, but the risk is too great. Why weren't you able to get yourself through it? And I think it's because of bad coping. All the things that were going on piled on me. I'm running like about 4 or 5 different businesses and lanes right now, and I fucking love it. But I had so much that piled on me at that time that I had bad coping. So I have to be careful that I have good coping with everything happening right now.
What's your coping now?
I'm fine. I found some of these pages, man, that are so big on the universe and manifestation, where this one woman talks, she's the universe, and then the other person is the human who's kind of complaining about their stuff, and the universe helps reframing. And also, I'm deathly afraid, so it's very serious for me. I'm not playing a game. I'm not playing a reframing game. Just look at it positive. Get the fuck out of here. This is my life. And I have to become the person who can handle net worth 25 million, or a beautiful business that I've grown, every department, every person, every day, every minute, every dollar, all matters. I have to become the guy who can handle that. And that guy doesn't have bad coping. So it's a lot of time spent on my own. It's a lot of self-management and reflection, not spreading myself too thin. Also, I'm big on putting managers and people in place to help me with things. Trust. I can trust in other people. You know? Trusting in myself that my choices are right. Is this bad? I can spin myself out in a single thought and freak out about something that I've already worked 3-4 months on down the road. It's not going to work because I'm not big on taking in too much media, meaning like I don't watch TV, I don't watch movies, I don't even like listening to that much music. I like to just focus on things that keep me vibrating at a high level and keep my feet on the ground. So my coping, self-work, I like meetings, I like to read, I like to watch content. I'm like high maintenance in that regard. I don't need too much from my partner, genuine partner, loving, caring, respectful, growth-oriented, 2 parallel lines, focusing the same thing, good communication. But I'm not high maintenance in neediness like that. I'm high maintenance for self.
$25 million net worth. It takes a lot of work to get there. You know what I mean? You could literally...
The ladder of what it takes to actually get there? Yeah,
it takes a lot of work, right? And that shit is fucking... You know, I've never had a $25 million net worth, but I would have to imagine it's hard. You know what I mean? You could literally just stay exactly where you're at right now and never worry about anything ever again.
Right.
Right? So why do all the extra work to get there when you could just be all right doing what you're doing now?
I think that because why not a worthy challenge? That's the most rewarding and fulfilling feeling in the world. Why I matter, I'm important, I validate self, I can accomplish this. And if I fall and fail along the way, why not build the strength of character along the way to keep on going? I also read a book by Talib called Anti-Fragile. Things that grow from disorder. And it's like, I bury myself so bad, so I can handle a lot. And I am good at self-reflection. The noise in my head used to take away my ability to reflect. I'd almost be grateful for when I was back clean and sober again, to think straight, and then I would go fuck it up right away. Talk about taking things for granted. You're taking your sobriety and your natural brain and its processes for granted. It's horrible, man. It's horrible. I don't want that static and noise, but I've become a little bit more anti-fragile because of that. Like, I can handle a lot. So why not take on a pressure that's similar but different? Because it's not as daunting and disgusting and just, ugh. It's rewarding, fulfilling. It feels good. It vibrates right. It goes along with my compass inside and where I'm supposed to be in the universe. The universe, I can send those ripples and thoughts out there. The universe brings me back beautiful challenges. That's just pain. And so why not use that grit that I have and the ability to handle a lot for something that's equally, and if not 10x as beautiful. That was the worst decision I ever made. I'm not saying I didn't glean anything from it, thank God. That some of the other good decisions I've made in this life are being good upstairs and looking at self. What role do I play? What role do I play? How can I change? Because I am able to glean something from all of the user. But that was the worst decision I ever made. From a risk-reward standpoint, from just a risk. I cut the lights out. It takes me, that's the furthest I can get from who I have to be to accomplish the things I've been thinking about since I was a young guy. When I felt different than my buddies who I was looking at because they were the cool guys, and started to swing over this way, which is the best thing I ever did, was trust in self and be like, Jonathan, what you want, think, and want to do, that's what's right. You need to feed that. And then I learned that, knew that, and this drug stuff was the furthest I've ever been from that. That disconnected, might as well just turn the lights out on me, bro. What's a couple $1 million worth? What's a couple anything worth? And no, I'm not taking it for granted. I just literally can't even be grateful for my own beauties, the things about myself that I love the most. You ever love things about yourself and you can't even appreciate them?
Yep. So let me ask you this. You're fucking one of the smartest people I've ever met. Straight up. And I've thought that about you since the day I met you. You are one of the smartest people I've ever met. And I might have learned more from you than anybody I've ever met in my life, right? So you say that was the worst decision you've ever made. For somebody as smart as you are, why did you continue to make the worst decision you've ever made over and over and over and over and over again?
I felt powerless. I felt like the vultures were eating at me so bad.
That was a good answer.
They were eating at me so bad, dude. I couldn't get myself out of it, and I knew I should. I knew at that point I wanted to. Also scared to fix everything. I don't even know how. Where's the strength coming from? I have this unlimited source of energy from within, right? It's this unlimited pool but that's what I always think. I wake up with it every day, but not when I'm using it. Where's the strength going to come from to fix all this? Can I start to believe in myself again? Crawl back one step at a time. My plane was up here coasting, and I had to deal with the challenges that come from like that high altitude where I was. And I crashed the plane. The hardest part of that plane's journey is getting itself off the ground until it's up and coasting again. And it's when we're at our fucking worst that you have to put in all the energy to get that plane off the ground. Look how much runway a plane needs to get off the ground. And it's like, where's the fuel, man? I was fucking on E, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I wrote something down for you because it's something I want to say at the end of your podcast every single time because it's true. It's just like, take care of yourself first because nobody can give their best when they're running on empty. I was on E. There's no gas to get down the runway and get that lift off. And so it scared the fuck out of me. Powerless. I'm dying here. I still don't want to get arrested.
Me neither.
And then I get arrested. And it's fucking trunk or treat. And my daughter's in a fucking angel costume, of course. Of course. Like just the most like typical, you know? Like of course that's what it would be. And I think I had a conversation with my girl that day that was the real one that says, I'm going away tomorrow. I just want to do this dentist appointment because I've been putting it off. And I think, right here, right now, sitting here, sober as shit, that I was going the next day. Now, I had said that hundreds of days in a row before that. But I think I was going.
Yeah, you were going.
And then I'm in jail, and I find myself waking up because I'm in such a stupor. I don't know who I am. I'm so nervous and uncomfortable around everybody. My face is on the raw mat, the jail mat. Why is it on the raw mat? No blanket, no sheet, why? Why do I have my shoes on? Why do I have no undershirt? I always wear an undershirt. Just like this stupid stuff. That's just where it starts on the surface. Just like, look where you are, you know? Just look where you are, man. In some fucking, like, stupid, just disgusting. And that's where we have to crawl back from. And that shit scares me now, bro. It's not a cool... It's not endearing. You don't think like that's cute or adorable or laugh at it. Not when you're like 23 and go to jail or something. Some girl will think it's cool. I'm so far from that. And what can I do? Sit and be patient to get through it and write my goals on the fucking padded wall. Remember who I am and start to get back. When I showed up at rehab to see you, you looked so bad, but you wanted me there. You had said, yo, if he's gonna, like, you were down. I would never have done that. I had too much shame. But there's times where I'd run into these embarrassing situations and say, Jonathan, when I'm thinking right, just don't ever let yourself be in this situation again. Because you said, like, you'd be fearful for someone's judgment, how you're walking down the block. I saw a Grant Cardone thing the other day, and he's like, I don't care about somebody's first judgment. You can hate me, but he's like, I'm still going to end up in your feed. I'm still going to end up in your feed. You're going to see me on Instagram. You're going to block me there. You'll see me on TikTok. And he's like, it might not be the second, third, fourth time, but that fifth or sixth time, you might say, you know what? You know, that guy just said something that I resonate with. And they get to know you a little bit. Like first judgments, we're so worried about that. You ever have an uncomfortable one and you're like, I know I just left this and I probably look different than how I want to. And it would plague me and fuck me up. I can't be everything for everybody in every moment. And, you know, I don't day trade. I play more of the long game. So I need to remember that. You're not going to be perfect in every moment, but I do like to feel like I'm fucking coasting, you know? Like, I'm operating at the high level I'm supposed to be. You catch me on a regular day, I look clean, I look healthy, I'm involved with my family, like I'm in the right places doing the right things. And that's what I mean, I was so far from that. Everything was a mess. You know, like, I hate the show on the surface of a person. I like to know what's going on underneath. And so, you have to look, like, what's going on behind all that? And when you looked at my life, everything was a mess. And I can't take pride in that, and it's actually what I despise. That lack of congruency because you're letting so many things take you off. So now I'm addicted to momentum and growth and just another day. Less, you know, people, they want more peace when they get older, bro. You know, they want more peace of mind. All these things are actually true. The stuff, you know, now I'm ready to actually say, you know what, I get it, because that's where I'm at in my life. I don't want headaches. Like self-inflicted and induced stress.
So I think we did it a little bit differently this time. What happens is we've been doing this for, you know, a little while now, and everybody hears me talk. They hear my stories. They hear my experience. They hear where I came from and what I'm doing now. And there were people that were interested in hearing from the other side of the couch, right? They want to know who you are, where you've come from, what you've been through, what your experiences are. And I think that this was good because now people get to understand you on a deeper level, right? And I think it does a lot for what we're doing here, where, you know, we're sitting down and they get a better look and a better understanding and a better knowledge of who we both are as people, not just you as the questionnaire. You know what I mean? And I think that we accomplished that a little bit. People, I think, will get to understand you at a higher level and understand where you're coming from and what you're made up of. So I think we did a good job of that.
You're unbelievable, man. You should keep on interviewing people and talking to them. It feels good to be asked questions from somebody that you know listens and is understanding what you're saying probably and can relate and identify and is non-judgmental. It feels really good. I was comfortable to give it up to you.
I appreciate
And nobody asks me questions like that, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. You're doing... This is healthy for us, man. I don't know what else to say. But we're taking care of ourselves. Moment to moment, day to day, we're taking care of ourselves. By making ourselves do these things. Remember the other day you said I have to do the reading thing, and you make us do this. Not you make us, we choose, you make yourself something that we have to show up for, because it doesn't matter. We'll ruin our lives. We're finding better coping. You're so great at identifying all the things that you know you can't do. And there's a handful of them, and they're all the things that feel the best. Well, at some point they did. All the things you've done in the past, but there's a lot of them. People can't keep up with all that stuff. Unless they're dead serious. That's what I've seen with you. It's like you're not playing. I'm excited to challenge you, to make you uncomfortable, not the uncomfortable like somebody's judging you. If you're me and you feel like shit because you know you're doing wrong and you know you look like shit and that hurts. I mean, just being new at something until you're not, like we're new to podcasting, you know? No, we don't have a million people that look at us. But it doesn't, I don't mind. I stay the course as if we have 10 million fucking followers and new skills and new tools, new growth. We're in business together now. That's exciting and it's perfectly organic. I don't know if you realize, but you're getting everything that you fucking wanted, which is what? It was, do you want me to say what it is or you? It's something that's organic and true and real to you, where you can show up every day and it serves a purpose for your own fulfillment, but also for other people. And then you can happen to get paid for it. And what is that? That's what? Sober recovery houses. Housing for people who need a safe environment outside of the noise and the nonsense to be able to recover, where there's good support around you, kind of like the counselors that you spoke of, right? And that's the business you're in. And a lot of times the most beautiful thing about the universe is that it brings stuff together in such a way that I'm also so excited. Like, thank you, universe, for what's coming to me that I don't even know about yet and how it's formulating, because it ends up coming together in such a good way. We just have to like be patient and keep ourselves on the ground. So it's like, to another day tomorrow, even when things get tough, let's hold out for what's coming next. And we keep doing this to keep ourselves in check and in line as we go, you know? I'm excited for what's happening for us both, bro. I'm glad we're back at it together. Thank you.
Me too. That was good.
Yeah, you killed that shit.
Life on